Okay, so this one is for new employees who maybe don't know how to work the copy machine that we have. Okay, now this is this right here is a copy machine. It is a fax machine. It can also scan documents and email them. It can do, you know, quite a bit of stuff. It can also, as long as you're set up on the Wi-Fi, then you can print things from your phone, emails, or like if any of you have continuing ed certificates or anything that you need to print, you guys can always use that feature when you're here. Now, for if you, let's pretend that you need to make some copies of the communication log, okay? Then all you have to do is, so this is the document tray where the paper's kept. All you have to do to make a copy is place the paper inside the feeder. You always want to face it, have it face up, okay? What you want to make a copy of should be on facing upward on the feeder, okay? And then the other thing that you can do, well, let me finish showing you the rest of the steps. So you can see right here, it's pretty plain and simple. You just hit copy. You are going to want to put how many copies you want of the item, and then start is here. You choose if you want it in black or color, okay? So typically when we make copies here, typically we're just using black. The color copies are handy if you're like making a copy of the schedule, you know, where we have a color code system, or if you're making a copy of the Mars, sometimes those can come in handy to be in color. But typically, even for the doctor's offices, when we make copies of the medication administration records, all we do is just push it through and do black. So it's perfectly readable that way. Anyways, so you're going to type how many copies you want. You're not going to mess with any of the other stuff, really. You don't need to touch any of that other stuff. You're just going to do either black or color, and in most cases you're just going to hit black, and then it starts going. Now obviously my paper's blank, so it's not going to print anything, but you'll see it goes right through the feeder, and then it comes right out the bottom, like most all printers. So if you have any experience with a printer, this should not be a video you need to watch, but it's really surprising how many people actually come here and have no idea how to operate one. So I figured it would be useful to have a video. So you see, you know, it's gonna communicate with you and tell you what's going on the screen. So it's letting you know it's copying. Here's the original, and then as you can see, the copy just came out the bottom. Now this doesn't have anything, but obviously if there was something on it, it would. So then it just goes back to the original copy screen. If you want to go out of the copy screen, then you just hit the home button right here. So now you're back at the home screen where you have your options again. Now if you want to fax something, it's again just a super easy process like you just did. You're going to feed the document the same way that you did with doing copies. So you can feed it up here, and see, it just sensed it, so it said original loaded. Now when you do a fax, you can also use the scanner. So if you want to, instead of feed it through the top, somebody left something in here. So somebody's making a copy of the communication log. So I find that if you use the scanner, your copies come out clearer. So if you're just making like whoever was making this copy, if you're just making something like this for the where you need copies for our regular daily use, use the glass, because the copies do come out better. Sometimes when it goes through the feeder, there's lines on the paper and it's super annoying. So just use the glass for making copies like that. So you just hit copy. We're gonna do one. Let me have your screen on you. So it goes up to 50 copies. You definitely don't want that many. So we'll just do one copy, and then we're gonna do black. Okay, and then it's scanning it. And then it's gonna come right out the bottom here. And you're done. So again, super easy. You can just go back to the home screen, remove your document, and you're finished. So that's it for the copy. Now, when you're doing a fax, sorry, I got paper caught in here. When you're doing a fax and you load it, you're just going to hit the fax button, so you can see all the options here. I'm just going to hit fax. I'm going to type my number, and then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to hit either black or color. Pretty much for everybody, the standard for faxes is black. So you just automatically hit black because most people's printers aren't set up to accept color copies through fax. So just hit black, and then it goes, and it will let you know when it's sent. It'll say fax sent on the screen, but it won't stay there for a very long time. You know, it only stays there for like 5 seconds, 10 seconds. So don't walk away when you're faxing. You want to be able to verify that it went through. So stay there until you see that fax sent message on the screen. And then you can file your paperwork wherever it goes. So if you're faxing the doctor, then whatever you fax to him, you want to put in that particular resident's binder. You want to make sure that you add it to their prog notes or doctor's orders, depending on what it is you sent. If you sent them like, say you sent them an incident report, say a resident had a fall, a non-injury fall, and so you were just notifying the doctor, well, that's something that would go in the prog notes. You would just file it there after you fax. If it's a medication question, then that's anything to do with medications, then you're gonna wanna file that one in doctor's orders. And then once we get the response on the document, when they fax back, that's when you would remove the old one and put the one with the response on it in the folder or in the binder. Because if they don't respond within like a day or two, then basically we have to refax. So you don't want to throw away that document that you faxed. You want to keep that in their file. That way when we go to refax, we can see when it was last sent, see we don't have a response yet, so then someone would then refax it a second time in hopes to get a response. And that's pretty much it for those. The app for scan to email is typically something that I use. I don't usually ask you guys to do that kind of stuff, so I won't bother showing you how to do that. I just want to make sure you know the basics. If you're ever not sure where to file something, then call me or text me or one of the other girls so that they can let you know. The last thing we want is for you to put paperwork in the wrong place, because if you don't remember where you put it, it will be a pain in the effing ass to find the paper. So make sure you check with me or one of the other girls to make sure you're filing it in the right spot. Okay? All right. Well, that's everything on the fax machine. So thanks a lot. Bye.